Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast for Benedict boosters. I'm Cody.
And I'm Tyler. Cody, what'd we watch?
Hey.
I know, right?
No, that's my part.
Did it.
Get out of here.
I did it, though.
You didn't even tell me if you were a Benedict booster. You a fan of Benedict?
I can't anymore.
Oh, because of his betrayal to George Washington? Yeah, I didn't say which Benedict. I'm talking about
Exactly.
Benedict Arnold.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's a
Right.
history thing.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of podcast this is. We watched The Grinch, and I know what you're all going to say. You're all going to download Twitter, create an account, verify it with your email address, and tweet at me, at Opinion Havers, and say, why didn't you do How the Grinch Stole Christmas? You came in here and you did The Grinch, which everyone agrees is not the one that more people have seen. And everyone's going to be like, Jim Carrey's a national treasure, and you'd be correct. But what you also don't understand is that movie was too scary for me as a child to fully appreciate. Therefore, we have done the Benedict Cumberbatch The Grinch because I haven't seen it before, and I didn't want to look. Okay, it's a lot of work to pick movies for this podcast because no one asks us to do movies. We've had like 3 people ask us to do certain movies, and we've done 2 out of 3 of those movies.
Yeah.
So now it falls upon our shoulders to pick a movie every week, and it's the holiday season, and so we gotta have a holiday movie. We gotta be with it, with the times. We gotta give the people what they want. And so yeah, I picked the first Christmas movie that popped up on Netflix, and it's The Grinch, and we watched it. So that's why.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a plot synopsis of The Grinch?
It's The Grinch.
All right, well,
As narrated by...
Pharell.
Exactly.
Yes. The Grinch is a man or being of sorts, a Seussian character who doesn't like Christmas. Everyone else likes Christmas, so he's grumpy and he steals Christmas. This one's animated and has Benedict Cumberbatch. So,
Yep.
you know, why not give it a shot? Why not give it a chance? It's on Netflix. Nope, it isn't. It was on Netflix. Want to know how I learned this lesson?
How?
Because I started it on Netflix, and then guess what? The next day, it was gone from Netflix. So when we went to finish it, we had to pay $4 to watch the last 40 minutes of this movie. That's what happened to me. How'd it go for you?
Okay, here's how it went for me, Cody. I fell asleep the first time
Yeah.
for the for the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
For a section of the movie. Somewhere in the middle there. Then I woke up, saw a lot of it, and I was like, all right, if I don't watch it again, I'm going to have to sit there and bold-faced lie about parts of this movie.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to have to just act like I watched the other movie, and hilarity will ensue.
Yeah.
And then my wife was like, I liked it, we'll watch it again. She was fine with it, so that's what we did. We watched it twice.
Yeah.
And then I fell asleep during the parts I'd already seen. I was a very sleepy boy at the time. I was a sleepy sheepy, as I call my wife in a sleepy voice. She loves it when I say that. So I'm like, I'm a sleepy little sheepy. All right? Now, what you don't understand, Cody, I don't think the movie's like boring enough to fall asleep during. I just was sleepy. All right? That's not...
Yeah. Okay.
From what I remember, pause everything. Does your former apartment co-mate, someone else who lived in the same apartment, they had a Jeep Wrangler. There's a Jeep Gladiator, which is a Wrangler with a truck bed attached to it. It just pulled out. It was parked out there. Did the guy upgrade from... No, it's parked straight out here. You're looking in the wrong spots. It's on the other side of your Christmas tree. But
It's a Christmas tree.
It's gone now. That's what I'm saying.
Well, okay.
It's been there all day. The point is, did he upgrade from a Wrangler to a Gladiator? I thought about getting the Gladiator, but the only point of it is I thought about it because they look so ridiculous.
Yeah, they do.
They are a Jeep Wrangler with a truck bed attached.
They sure are. Yes,
it's
they
all
are.
one piece, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought the movie was okay. as a little bit for you. But I think from what I remember, I like the other one better.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I would have to watch it now because I love Jim Carrey, as you should. He's great. He's very good. The part where he's all scary and she sees him, and I was Cindy Lou Who in the mailroom when he comes and he's all scary and whatever. I don't know. I was too young when it came out to appreciate the sarcastic Grinch that I think everyone... kind of like Squidward. Everyone watching SpongeBob as kids like Squidward is like, Squidward, you're the worst, you know. And then when you're an adult, you're like, oh no, we are Squidward. We're the grumpy, whatever, sarcastic, you know. Anyway, if I watched the movie now, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I think I would enjoy it. I think at the time, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, should we watch that one?
Yes.
Maybe one day.
Here's the thing,
Maybe
Cody.
one day.
I'm pretty sure there's a joke about him going through puberty and growing pubes. He is a furry person, though.
Yeah.
But it is done in a, we just finished about a movie where they didn't do the veiled jokes well.
Yeah.
It is done well.
Right.
I don't like Pharrell as the... That was a bad decision.
It was weird. It was kind of just like, wait, why? You know?
He does it not well.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't mind it, but I wasn't just like, oh, this is a cool part of it. Good choice. High fives.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, this is fine. Okay, so you thought it was okay, but the Jim Carrey one's better. That's your verdict, your initial,
Yeah, I definitely think this one is... It's the Illumination team.
Yeah.
Company, right? The studio.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was very...
Which is like the Despicable Me team?
Yeah.
Or is that the Secret Life of Pets, or is that the same thing?
Same.
Okay.
So, I mean, their movies...
which is not DreamWorks, right?
Not DreamWorks.
You have DreamWorks, Illumination. Is Illumination Sony?
Yes.
Okay, I
think so.
All right. Illumination, Despicable Me, Minions, Secret Life of Pets.
Maybe.
This one.
Yeah.
Sing, probably, I'm guessing.
Sing is Illumination.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think they all have a very similar sense of humor.
Yeah.
Really. And I think they're good. I like them more than a lot of things that like Disney or Pixar are doing nowadays. Because I think they do a better job of writing that line of like you can watch it with the kids and still enjoy it. Yeah. But it's not like something that you're going to... You're fine if your kid wants to watch it 50 times a day.
You're saying Illumination?
Illumination's the one I would prefer.
Yeah. They're less Academy Award chasers, where Pixar is like hungry for the award season, right?
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Like, you use as an example Toy Story 4, right? Versus this.
Yeah.
Most people say Toy Story 4 is better. Here's what I say. The only redeeming quality about Toy Story 4, Bunny and Ducky. My wife recently bought me a Bunny and Ducky. She put them together. They're not attached. She put them together because she knows I like them together.
Aww.
She knows I like them together.
I like Toy Story 4, but it is a much more cinematic movie.
Yeah.
I feel like this is much more like family, very cartoony, fun 90-minute romp. Whereas Toy Story is probably like what? Toy Story 4 is like probably what? 2 hours, very advanced textures, cinematic, you know? I don't know. It's very different styles of... They're both animated. They're both very different.
Can I share a real quick... Another fact about the Bunny and Ducky dolls, not from the movie.
Yeah.
The dolls that are from the movie. But these are the real dolls that we have. Not a real doll, just the little stuffed animals. Anyway, we have a comically large Jawbreaker, like one of the big old school ones that you have to smash and then you eat the pieces. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My aunt owns a candy store. She had it in the window. No one ever wanted to buy it because no one ever wants to smash them, so she gave it to me. Because I like them because of Ed, Edd, and Eddie.
Oh, love Ed, Edd, and Eddie.
Yeah.
All about it.
It's like, it's big. You could not fit it. It's this big, Cody. It's about the size of a softball.
I've seen them.
So, she put that, which I recently dug out of a box and gave to her, as like, hey, this is cool. And then she wanted to know what to do with it. I said, it's fine. It's yours. You pick out what you want to do with it. It's my gift to my wife. She put it by them. I asked her, why would you put this, especially if it's in reach of kids that might play with the toys? Her answer to me, Cody, was, I don't know. Seems like something they would steal, which I love. That's why that's there. And I just looked at her and I was like, I love you so much. Because she's like, I don't know, it just seems like something they would want and steal from like an old lady or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it does. Anyway, I love that. So the Grinch.
I liked the movie. It wasn't great. It was good enough. There was some good animation, but it did kind of lack that. I don't know. I mean, everyone knows the story already because it's a classic Dr. Seuss tale. Mm-hmm. It is a pretty famously well-known Jim Carrey movie. I don't know. I guess it wasn't renewed or refreshed enough for me, or didn't have quite the narrative warmth of what it needed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which I liked it enough that I was like, I just want to watch more Illumination movies. So we watched The Lorax, which I think is the only other one that's on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Which also not that great, but like there's sometimes where I'm just in the mood for. They scratch a certain itch that no other movie would hit. You know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah.
The animation is pretty good. I mean, and
they look so soft.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that kind of bothers me is that I never thought of the Who's as soft, furry creatures.
Yeah.
Because then the Grinch is just a green. Then they're racist. They're just racists. But if they're all, have skin and he's covered in green fur, then it's like, what is he? But it's just a green Who. Then,
yeah,
kind of kills the mood. Also, it really makes me question the society of the Who's when the mom's a nurse that's working the night shift. And that's one of the things.
I don't know.
Cindy Lou is adorable, though.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, we can't spoil the Grinch.
We can't spoil this tale that everybody knows and has read and seen the other movie.
Hop on Fred. We'll ride.
Oh, yeah.
We'll ride to Spoiler Town.
Okay. So, one problem I have with this movie is that 2 or 3 of the best bits are in the trailer. And that just always drives me crazy. I'm like, darn. Because when I saw the trailer of this movie, I was like, I actually want to see that one. I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it now. And I was bummed. I was like, oh, darn. There weren't that many other good bits that weren't in the trailer,
What bits are you referring to?
Oh, the best bit easily is the pickle bit. He's in the store, and, he's the Grinch, so he's naughty. And so someone has pickles in their cart. He, takes the jar and pulls out a pickle and eats it. Doesn't like it, so he pulls it out of his mouth and he puts it in someone else's purse, He
spits it back in the jar.
Oh, he puts it back in the jar.
And he puts the jar in there. Does he put it in a purse or in with their cart?
I forget.
But yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I enjoy the antics. And I think Jim Carrey's is much more about his physical performance, physicality, and he's a good improviser. And this one, when you're animated and it's Benedict Cumberbatch, probably less of that. But and there were some good bits. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
So, that was one that I really liked. Cindy Lou was adorable. The jackets, when she's she has to go outside or whatever, and it's extra cold, so she's super bundled up, like Christmas Story style. She's waddling out there. I was like, this is adorable. It's adorable. I liked it.
Yeah.
And it's so cute.
I like. Sorry, did you have another thing from the trailer?
I don't know. We'll get to it.
I like in that part with the when he's at the store and the old lady's trying to reach for the last of that jam, and he's like, what is this? And then no, he puts it back and then bumps the shelf so it falls and breaks. And then what does she say? She does one of those grandma's not gonna curse, but she's gonna say something where she means something awful, but this is what she always says.
Yeah.
What was it?
I don't remember.
It was something funny. My mom always, growing up, she would say fiddlesticks. And that was mom just dropped the F-bomb because she said fiddlesticks. What is a fiddlestick, Cody? Nobody knows.
No one knows. So, Cindy Lou, her friend Groupert.
Yeah.
He's a hustler. I like that. He had a stand. What was he selling on a stand? Snow cones? Snowballs? Snow cones.
He was selling snowballs.
Snowballs, yeah.
And then he said, anything I don't sell, and he bumped it, and then it was flopped down to say snow cones.
Yeah.
He's like, I could just eat, and then he's pouring the stuff on.
I like that. That's cute. I really enjoyed Max in this one. And Bailey did point this out, it's been a while since I've seen the Jim Carrey one, but he kind of liked that, the Grinch had a better, more positive relationship with Max in this one, Yeah. He's he's kind of mean to Max in the other one, but he's he had some more sympathy for him in this one.
Yeah.
That was kind of cute. And I enjoyed Max getting the coffee and doing his thing. I don't know, he's cute.
Yeah.
Got all the gadgets in the house.
Yeah, he that's his thing, is the gadgets and such. Whereas in the other ones, his whole thing is just that he's grumpy in all the other versions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely think this was somebody looking at it and thinking, I don't think their goal was to compete against that one, right? Or
Right.
be like, we're going to be better in the eyes of, their goal was to be like a movie the kids will like and the parents are fine with it being played 50 times a day.
Yeah.
Like, because he's kind of like, he's not as constantly cranky as the Jim Carrey, or even in like
the original story.
the old cartoon or the book,
Yeah.
the short little book. Because he's like, the reason they have to go into town is he's been doing so much emotional eating.
Yeah.
And it's him like watching a show, crying and eating spaghetti or something, and then the cake and all that. And I like them throwing in the little parts where he would rhyme and stuff. Mm-hmm. And little fun stuff. So I definitely think it seemed like they hit the tone, because that's what they get in all their movies. It's just like, you just kind of make everybody a little less sinister than you would think they would be in like a Pixar movie. Like Pixar and Disney movies, when there's like, the Grinch would be like, you cut into him like murdering a baby or something nowadays. I feel like there's sometimes in these movies where I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah, I mean,
Where he's just
I wouldn't have been too scared to see this as a kid,
Yeah. They paint him more like he's cranky and stuff all the time, because he's like he's just kind of a cranky person.
Yeah.
But part of it is he's cranky because he assumes everybody hates him, so he's just going to hate him back.
Yeah.
Which is one, I guess you could argue the other, as an adult watching it, the Jim Carrey one's better because it gives more reason for why he hates everybody and why he thinks everybody hates him. And it's got more of a message to it of, I'm different, that's why they hate me.
Yeah,
I hate
it
them.
has more of the arc. This one's
not trying to tackle those.
Yeah, not quite trying to go there. There were some. I mean, I do think the animation was pretty good. There were some fun, kind of Susie things. Like there's storks that kind of like ski around, on their like big stork legs. I was like, oh, that's fun. I like some of that stuff. I wrote down Mac's tongue. I don't know why.
He had a tongue. Did his tongue stick out like Bindy's does sometimes?
Probably. I wrote that.
Why did you?
I thought they added a couple scenes. Fred the reindeer was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
So he goes to the reindeer to get a reindeer to power his sleigh or whatever, and there's like a giant pasture in the snow of all these reindeer eating, and then like a random goat.
Yeah, one of the screaming goats
just like screams, scares away all of them except for a really big slow boy.
Yeah.
Who they
calls
call
him Fred. Yeah.
Fred. I don't know. Fred was fun.
Yeah, brings him back. I like, like when they get back and he's like, no, Max, you know the rules. I sleep in my bed and you sleep. And then Fred's just there like, oh.
Yeah.
And then they get in and kick him out of the bed, basically.
Yeah.
Or about to kick him out. And then Fred, like, making the coffee. Like, breaking everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I thought it was funny when later they revealed Fred has like a whole like reindeer family.
Yeah.
I was like, Fred's like Fred gets freaky, He's a passionate guy. He's a lover,
Yeah. Yeah, there's a wife and child that the Grinch stole him away from.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I guess you can go back to him. And that's how Max ends up back as the reindeer.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. There's no purpose. That's the thing of like how Fred is a good little guy, right? Because there is 0 point to him being there. No impact on the story at all.
I did think that was kind of funny.
But are you mad about him?
No, I'm not. That's the other bit. There's when he has the whipped cream and it comes all out his nose.
Yeah.
And he snorts it back in. I don't know. I like that bit. I just thought it was funny. But it was one of those like in the ad or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. The animation is pretty good. Like there's a lot of fur and hair, like you said, like on the Who's, on the Grinch, and even like the snow was actually really well textured. Yeah. It was pretty impressive, like how detailed the animation was. It was really pretty. Yeah. But like in a very cartoony sort of way.
How does the movie open again? It's them. I'm trying to remember what the very beginning is. Is it open with the Grinch or does it open with the Who? It opens with Whoville.
Because isn't it kind of saying, oh, they love Christmas, everyone loves Christmas, the Grinch doesn't like Christmas, though.
Yeah,
right?
and then it goes up to the Grinch, and that's when it starts with his, the rap version of You're a Mean One.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, they went for it.
Yeah. And?
They did not nail it.
No.
Do you differ in that opinion?
No, I mean, it was fine. Didn't love it.
I think, because who did it? Pharrell?
I don't know. It could have been, but it was one of those where
Does he
like,
rap?
it's not rap. It's not poetry. It's like a slow rap slam poem.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
Does Pharrell, he's a rapper, right?
Pharrell does music, certainly. He's an American singer, he is a singer, rapper, songwriter, record producer, fashion designer, entrepreneur. He's close friends with Chad Hugo.
Of course.
You know, they made a hip hop duo called the Neptunes in the 90s. So that's Pharrell in a nutshell. He is as tall as me. Any other information you need to know?
No, I just wanted a confirmation that Pharrell raps.
Unlike Sinbad, is a rapper.
Yeah. So I guess, by the way, just a side note, Illumination is NBC or Universal. Universal Pictures, that's their parent. It's not Sony.
So is Sony still doing animation? Because they were for a minute. Because remember when they did the Surf's Up and those other ones?
Yeah, and Angry Birds.
Oh, Angry Bird. Okay, that's this. Oh, yeah, Hotel Transylvania, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah, they're DreamWorks, I
Oh,
think.
right, and they did Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I think DreamWorks is Sony.
No, it can't be. It's not. That's different.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I thought DreamWorks did a bunch of their stuff, though. Well, now I need to know
There are
what's
more animation studios than I realize.
Yeah, because, I mean, it feels like they're all the same, but then there were so many that popped up.
Because DreamWorks is like How to Train Your Dragon, Trolls, Shrek.
So it's just
Boss
Sony.
Baby.
Yeah.
Megamind.
It is just Sony Pictures
Shark
Animation.
Tale,
That's what it is.
B-Movie, Kung Fu Panda.
B-Movie?
Yeah.
Who did B-Movie?
DreamWorks.
Oh, that explains a lot. Oh my gosh.
What?
I was like, I was thinking they hadn't done a movie in forever. Sony Pictures Animation. Their most recent film was Angry Birds Movie 2, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a while ago. It was in 2019. The end of 2019.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I feel like that movie came out like 4 years ago.
No.
Oh man. 2020, the worst decade of the century, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been busy since they started making movies in 2006. Or they started releasing movies, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I guess I forgot that their animation studio is Sony. But yeah, Illumination is good. I like that they're I feel like everybody sees them as the main, right, competitor to Pixar.
Who?
Illumination.
I wouldn't say it's DreamWorks, but maybe that's just because, hailing back to Shrek days, it was like Pixar, DreamWorks back and forth.
Yeah.
Before like Sony and Illumination got in the game.
Yeah, which Illumination, I don't know how long they've been around. I think they took off with Despicable Me.
That's the big one I remember.
Illumination. And then the Minions are what made them their billions of dollars,
Man.
Let's see.
I guess, Illumination doesn't have that many movies, but they do have those Dr. Seuss ones, Despicable Me.
Yeah, they've just done...
Hop, Sing, Secret Life of Pets.
The Laura.
That's about it.
Yeah. But they've got... Yeah, the new Minions movie that was supposed to come out this year, wasn't it? Rise of Gru. Wasn't that one that was supposed to come out 2020 and then they
slated
pushed
for
it?
2020. It's set to be released in summer now, summer 2021.
Yeah, and then Sing 2. Oh, yeah, and then they're making the Mario film. They're going to make a Mario movie.
What?
Yeah, I forgot about that. So they're the ones that they get like
Remember
licensed
the last
stuff.
Mario movie they made?
The one, was it 80s or something?
The 90s, it was 80s or 90s live action Mario.
I mean, I've never seen it. But
you haven't seen it?
But I know is it Bob Hoskins that calls it the worst mistake of his career?
I'm sure he has, because it's got a 24% Rotten Tomatoes. It came out in 1993. Yeah, Rocky Morton. Bob Hoskins plays Mario. Dennis Hopper's in it. John Leguizamo was in it.
Who plays Luigi?
John Leguizamo.
So it's either John Leguizamo or Bob Hoskins, but I know one of them, the makeup department or something, would talk about how, oh, it might have been Luigi. They cut a bunch of lines and stuff, and they had to do a lot of work because they are always drunk. And then they asked him, why were you always drunk? And he's like, have you seen the movie?
Oh my God.
And it's like, you got to be a bad movie to make your people be like, I have to start drinking and doing drugs just to make it
It was
through this.
such a bananas because like the Goombas
We're just dudes, weren't they?
Well, no, they had. I'll just show you a picture. But there were like these weird like sci-fi lizard men with like tiny heads, but they're big bodies. I don't know. It was. I think Yoshi is this like dude with like a weird blonde mohawk and a long tongue, and you're like, this.
Yeah,
this is insane.
I think somebody described it as it's like somebody who saw the cover of a magazine was like, that's all they took to make the Mario movie, and it just had Mario and Luigi, and then somebody described the rest of it in another language through a wall or something like that.
Yeah, and it's like
that's what they got.
It's like an 80s action sci-fi movie based on the Mario Brothers with a foreign director made in the early 90s. And you're like, what?
I mean, we have one of those made much more recently with the Shyamalan making the Airbender movie,
yeah.
Where it's like, somebody's like, I'll make a movie out of this super mega popular franchise. And then they're like, okay, here's the writer of the original franchise and all these experts on it. And he's like, get them out, fire them. Take them back, kill their families in front of them, and then throw them in a ditch. I hate them. I don't need them.
There's also no unwarranted large lizard men in the, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
As bad as it's a poorly executed Airbender is a poorly executed adaptation that doesn't have the heart and soul of the source material. But this is like
wrong,
wearing the face of it's like it's Hannibal Lecter cutting the face off of an IP, putting it on his face and saying, I am the IP now, where it's like, you've got the body of something else and a ripped off face on your face. That's what you are.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Did you ever see that Aragon movie that came out?
Yeah.
It's like that.
I saw
where
that one.
Did you ever read those books?
No, I've heard they were great.
See, if you read the books and then you watch that movie, you're like, where did they get 90% of this movie?
It's funny because as someone... I mean, I was a little younger. I didn't have, like, refined movie taste at the time. The first half, I was like, this is all right. This is kind of interesting. By the end, I was like, what is this? Is this the end? This is supposed to be a trilogy or something, a series? I didn't like this. By the end, you're like, you had me in the first 20 minutes. I was still on board for the next 30 minutes. Then the last hour, I was gone. Like, you lost me.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
It was dumb. We all wish it was better, but at the same time, like you're talking about the Grinch movie being so similar to its source material that you don't care, So that's kind of the thin line that those guys got to ride, where it's like, it's just the Grinch story.
It's hard because, the Grinch has a story. It's a short book.
Yeah.
So
it's a Dr. Seuss book.
Whereas Mario Brothers has zero narrative. It's a small Italian man running around jumping on people's heads. Like, how do you make a movie out of that?
Yeah.
I mean, you could do a damsel in distress movie, I guess.
Yeah, that's the story of the games at that point. It's like there wasn't a story. That's the only through line of all the games.
He doesn't talk, and you're going to make a movie about it?
He goes, what?
Come on. Here we go. He does that.
But not in the original one.
Hoo, hoo, hoo.
There you go.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when you jump and you do the hoo, hoo, hoo?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go. Wahoo. Here we go. What else does he say?
I don't know. I've heard other, this is not my, oh yeah. I've heard people saying it would be funny to make a Mario movie where every time he opens his mouth to talk, somebody just interrupts him.
Like Toad.
Toad starts talking. And that's the joke, is that it's not that he can't talk, it's just that he never gets a word. And they're like, Mario, you're here. Thank you. You're going to save the princess now, right? All right, so she's you just talk over him and never let him say a word, and that's why he does all these crazy things.
What about this? Mario movie in the style of Hardcore Henry, where it's from the point of view of Mario. You just have you can kind of see the top of a mustache, camera view.
Yeah,
and the top of your hat,
like a red line across the top to be like, oh, it's like the hat up there.
Yeah.
No, it's
and then
red.
the mustache and the hat, and then just the screen, and then you run around jumping on stuff.
Yeah.
How about that?
I love it.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
It's rated R. No.
Here's the thing. I did see.
Just him curb stomping people.
Have you seen? Are you aware in any form of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure franchise of shows?
Here's the thing about that. I've heard my brother describe about 12 different episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and the way he described it and the way the title is, it looks entirely different from what I thought it was. Yeah. But that's how much I know about it.
Here's what it is. Here's why it doesn't make sense. It's an anthology series. The only thing that ties them people together is I think they're related up or down the line of descendants and ancestors.
Like Doctor Who.
Yeah. Sure. And the main character's nickname is JoJo. That's the only thing that links them, I think. It's not like they're the same person or have some special powers. It's that this nickname and the fact that they have weird adventures is like down through this family.
Like how Fargo is a different story every season, but it's all called Fargo.
Exactly.
Except if the main character's name was Fargo.
Yeah.
That is bizarre.
Yeah.
Is it good? I've heard it's good.
I liked it, but it's like their animation style is very unique. You know what I'm talking about? Where everything looks super intense, even if it's not.
Yeah.
So it's a animation in that style, but it's Mario and Luigi, and it's like they jump in the lava. Mario falls in the lava, and then Luigi gives some kind of weird speech about like he's gonna let Mario die instead of saving him. So now he's the king, and then it's like them speak, and the whole time Mario's just super slowly sinking into lava, and like giving this super intense speech, and then from behind, what's that? Mario pushes Luigi in. It's a goo Mario. It's not even a real Mario. I knew you'd betray me, brother. And then they do another speech as Luigi slowly sinks in. And then what's that behind it? Luigi pushes Mario in or something. I don't know. All I know is that everyone who falls in is a goo version. Uh-huh. And then it turns from Mario versus Luigi to goo Mario or goo Luigi versus Luigi. And then it's... Yeah, so it's like just this weird thing, but at the end it's Mario and Luigi, and they like do like the muscle handshake where they flex and they're like shing, and it's like that's the end of
handshake.
Where it's just them.
Well,
and I don't know how many goo versions of them or weird Goomba clones die, but yeah, it's really funny. But it's a little too different from the storyline of the game for me to like.
Yeah, of course, you're a purist.
How do you feel about the guy? So he's walking back to his cave from his shopping trip, right? In the Grinch. Mm-hmm. And what's the guy's name?
Kenan Thompson.
Kenan Thompson, exactly. And he's like, he thinks we're friends, and so he's sneaking through all ninja style. Just that character in general, and also the fact that when the thing blows up, it punches the Grinch in the face and throws him into the ground. Because I laughed out loud every time.
All about it, you know. I like his is just a fluffy ball of Christmas cheer.
At the end, right? So when the Grinch goes to the Christmas dinner,
yeah,
and the guy comes up to him, and he's like, "Grinch buddy," he calls him Grinch buddy a lot,
yeah.
And he's hugging him, and he's like, "Oh, give me a hug," squeezing him, and he's like, "It doesn't count unless you hug me back, buddy." And then the Grinch hugs him back. His face is the most adorable thing I've ever seen. He's so like, like so happy that he's getting hugged back by the Grinch after what you assume is years of him trying to be like claiming to be best friends with the Grinch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I will say the ending was nice. Like he was at the dinner and he's like gives a little speech. He's like, "Thanks for including," and it's so I get it now. I don't know. It was nice. Had a nice little ending, and I did appreciate that about it.
Yeah.
Here's what I didn't get.
Okay. Tell me.
Bailey brought this up, and I can't agree more. The whole thing, Cindy Lou Who, who's adorable and darling, is like, I got to get my letter to Santa so he can help my mom, because her Christmas wish is for her mom to get the help she needs, because she's a single mom and she works hard and she has twins and Cindy, you know, and it's just like, I just want my mom to get help and whatever, you know, which is really sweet. So I was like, oh snap, Rashida Jones, which is who voices the mom, and Benedict Cumberbatch, they're going to hook up. It's going to be a love story, a Grinch love holiday romance, Hallmark Lifetime movie. And I was like, sure, why not? At the end of the movie, the Grinch steals Christmas. He feels bad. He gives it back. They invite him to Christmas dinner. Shows up to Christmas dinner. He's like, thanks for including me. This is really nice. We never did anything for the mom. The mom's scenario is not improved in the slightest. She's still just a hardworking, doing the best she can mom. Single mom.
But here's my thing that I think about that, right? One, I think the book doesn't offer any resolution for
But they let the Grinch carve the roast beast. And what's Cindy Lou Who's Christmas wish? Is it the same thing or is that different? That's different, right? What's her wish in the book / Jim Carrey movie?
I don't think it is. Does she have a wish,
nice.
or she
is
just
it something about?
She's just a little girl who's awake.
I wish there could be pretty Christmas or something. I don't know. It's something nice though.
I don't think she's
the heart of Christmas. That's her role in the movie.
Yeah, I think she's just awake. I think that's her whole role in the book.
In the Grinch one, isn't it? In the Jim Carrey one, isn't it like she gives up her presents or something to be nice? Or I don't know.
Anyway, here's the point, Cody.
What?
Point is the Grinch, he's like some kind of tech genius, so he probably made stuff that the mom...
Oh, maybe it'll help the mom out that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
He cured all disease, so she doesn't have to work anymore.
There you go.
Now she's unemployed.
Okay, well, that brings me to another note I had. It's also like a Bond movie with these guys. That's what I thought. I was like, this is like if Q were the Grinch.
Yeah.
He was out here.
His gadgets are awesome.
Yeah, he had some good ones.
Like, they're cool gadgets, Cody.
They're pretty cool.
But I do... Here's the thing, my thing with this movie. It is good. I do like it. It's hard for me to think of what it would have needed to do to be a great movie. I think it's just the fact that it is a kid's movie, and that's why I'm like, it's not that great.
Yeah. Because
at its core... It's catering to children. That's their target audience.
It's hard, when you think the Jim Carrey one, it's like, well, you don't even have to write for Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Because you just turn on the camera. It's like Peter Sellers, right? We'll just be like, oh, I can improvise my way through and get you 80% of the gold you need for this to be a funny movie, know? But when Benedict Cumberbatch is your Grinch and you're animating the movie, you're more tied to your script. So would it have taken more comedy writing or what?
I think...
To make it funnier?
What it would have taken for us to sit here and say, this is a great movie, was for it to be a movie aimed at, like, young adults. You know?
Yeah, where it's like, it's not quite like a kid, because with the kid, with the action and the pretty colors and the nice animation, that's enough for them to enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
But a young adult, you'd have to do a little more crafting.
Yeah, I just think, like, there's a lot to do. They don't sit on anything for too long. They don't, like, let any part of the story breathe for probably as long as we would have, I think, preferred. Because, the Illumination are experts at this point of, all right, this part of the story has played out. That's why Fred comes in and leaves. Yeah. They're like, Fred's done. The kids are done with Fred. Nobody cares about him at this point, so he's out of the movie. He'll come back later just so the kids are like, oh, that's the fat reindeer. I remember him. But for them, in their tiny minds, it's been 50 years. Fred's an old man that's returning to save the day. For you, it's been 15 solid minutes since you saw Fred. All right? So I think that's the main reason it gets held back is that it's got enough story to fill like 3 movies, but it just is like, all right, this thing, that, it's gone. This, and then it's gone. And then you start this part, and then it's gone. You know, because it's a kid's movie, and they're trying to keep it moving, move one thing to the next, keep their attention.
I did... you talk about some storylines popping up and going away, and it's just like, we're just kind of keeping it moving. I just broke my phone. One thing, I love Grouper. I'm all in on Grouper. Yeah. I like that he had the snow cone snowball stand. Delightful. I like that she had a best friend. And then later they're like, all right, we got to make a scheme, get the gang back together. Let's have an Ocean's 11 uniting the team montage. Exactly. And then it's like the kids, they roll up, they're doing whatever. Then they're like, all right, I can help, but my mom's going to call me back when the street lights turn on, so let's make it snappy. Okay, meet you tomorrow. Cool. All right, see you later.
Yeah, or like the part where the kid's like, my mom set a timer, and they're like, what? And he's like, don't ask, it's new, and then puts a sucker in his mouth or something. What he does it with the energy of like a cigarette.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is good.
Yeah, I don't know. My thing is like, that didn't contribute. I almost wish it was just Cindy Lou and Grouper doing that. When those kids popped up, I liked the timer bit, And the rest of it, I was like, oh, they've got cool scooters or tricycles, and all right, we're done. I don't know.
Yeah. But my thought, here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How long was the movie?
90 minutes.
So imagine the movie is 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Right? And you cut out the super happy guy. Right?
Kenan Thompson.
You cut out Kenan Thompson's character completely.
Yeah.
And you dedicate the rest of that time to building up their scheme as a more fleshed out storyline.
Yeah.
And you focus on that, and you're swapping between that and the Grinch preparing. Mm-hmm. But you're giving each more things, so it's almost like it's them versus each other, but they don't know the other one's there.
Yeah.
That's more, I think, would have made a more like fleshed out, but that also would have made it cater to a more adult audience, and it's not a story that's gonna get grown-ups to go see. See, like How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, adults went to go see that because that's what it was aimed at, is Jim Carrey, and it was pitched as like, your kid might get scared, but at the core it is just the Grinch.
Yeah.
So nobody's head's gonna get ripped off.
Yeah.
But it's really for the parents, and the kid will be like, it's the Grinch. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Here's the other thing. Benedict Cumberbatch did go all out on his Grinch voice.
Yeah.
He did not sound even a little bit like Benedict Cumberbatch. He did some very good acting in that way, where it was like, he didn't sound like Benedict Cumberbatch. He didn't have a British accent. He had an American accent. Yeah. And it was higher than his... Anyway, I'm just saying, if you didn't tell me that was Benedict Cumberbatch, I wouldn't have known. It was good acting, but it was also like, for a kid's movie, and you're like, couldn't you have got... I don't know. It was like, Benedict Cumberbatch is not a selling point for a kid. Not necessarily for an adult either, but he did do a good job. It was just kind of weird. You're like, we got Benedict Cumberbatch to do an American... I don't know.
He does an American voice a lot. I think he does a lot of voice acting.
Does he?
Because I recently watched another animated movie with him in it. And this obviously was different because he was trying to sound more like the Grinch.
Yeah.
Which nobody knows exactly, I guess, how the Grinch sounds. I don't know. Does the old cartoon have a voice actor?
No, the old cartoon is all just narration.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
Basically, except maybe one or two lines, but...
And he wasn't trying to sound like Jim Carrey, but it's like how you imagine the Grinch to sound.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know if there's an exempt. But he's like slightly higher pitched than his normal voice, and with the American accent, it's almost the same as another movie I recently heard him voice acting.
Yeah.
But the real thing I was thinking about him, right, is that he is just going to replace Patrick Stewart as the super incredibly amazing British actor that will be the CIA director in American Dad. Yeah. And be Hannibal, or not Hannibal, is it Hamlet in a Hamlet production, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he'll win an Oscar for best performance and be in
Get a daytime Emmy for kids shows and stuff like that,
Because he just, he's like, yeah, it's funny, of course I'll do that. And it's like, he is just he's him, reincarnated, isn't he?
He is. Much like Doctor Who.
I want JoJo. I want a movie about them just talking to each other.
Like Dinner with Andre, but it's Benedict Cumberbatch and Patrick Stewart. And
then, who's that? Surprise guest. You know who it is. Let's say it at the same time. Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah. Or who's the other guy that has the famously annoying voice? Andy Dick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hollywood, hit me up. I can make movies for you. Don't even sweat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Grinch. Oh, no. So, I don't know. I did enjoy it. I didn't like it. It wasn't like I don't know. I'm not going to make anyone get out of the way to watch it, I don't think. But it was, I don't know, it was enjoyable. It was a nice little movie.
Yeah. I like that, the last one, like I said at the beginning of this, I feel like we talked about in our last Christmas episode, that movie not nailing the kids and adults things, the veiled jokes. This, him having the jitters from he stayed up all night going over all his gadgets, and then he's like, ooh, more coffee, and then sucks down a whole thing of coffee in a second, and he's like shaking. And the emotional eating and just like so much of what he does is so funny because it's something you can see yourself doing or see someone you know doing.
Yeah.
You know? Or like there's such petty moves that he'll do, like accidentally breaking the jar, like knocking the shelf for the jar to break. Or like, you know, just so I think it nails that so well. Or doing, like you said, with the Ocean's 11 style, like gathering the team for like the heist movie thing, where no kid's going to be like, it's just like a heist movie.
Yeah.
They're just going to think, oh, they're getting all the kids together.
But the kid, at least for me when I was a kid, I was like, oh, he's got like the coolest tricycle. I want a tricycle like that. You know, like it's a fun fantasy. It works on both those levels for that reason, you know?
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. I like how much of it is funny as an adult. With an adult sense of humor. I like things that are grown-up stuff.
He does, the Grinch plays the organ, and he plays the song All By Myself, the tune. Yeah. But then what is Max doing? He's got like he has a little drum kit. Right?
Yeah.
That was cute.
And he's really trying to rock out.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
So, wow. I didn't realize they pushed this movie back a year.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because Sony had a Christmas movie coming out that year too, an animated Christmas movie. So they pushed it back.
What movie was it?
Sony Animations, The Star.
Oh, what? Here's the thing. The Star, Cody, okay. What do you think The Star is? Like
It's, okay.
I know
you want me to guess what The Star is? Are you going to tell me what it actually is?
Yeah, I'm not. It's not really. I'm asking you what the story is. I think we all know the story, which I think it's weird in a sense that it's a Sony movie.
So is it like religious Christmas, where it's people following the star to get to baby Jesus?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I think it should be.
Oh.
It's 2,000 years after the birth of Jesus Christ, and there's an astronomy team that has realized the same star will be present once again, and they team up with paranormal investigators to see if another godlike figure of supernatural power will descend upon the earth. I don't know, Hellboy reboot?
Yeah.
But Christmas themed.
But
did I do it right?
I mean, Hellboy is a Christmas movie. He was found on Christmas.
Oh.
Boom. I think. I don't know if that's true. There's a Christmas part in the Hellboy movie. All right? That's all I know. And he says he's got to go to sleep, so Santa shows up. And it's Hellboy as a kid. Anyway, here's my thought. When I saw it, the first time I saw the movie, I assumed it was a movie made by a Chinese studio for release straight onto like Hulu, not Netflix, but maybe Netflix.
Yeah.
But it's not quite the quality of something released on Netflix.
Right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then my parents went to go see it in the movie theater, in the big theater.
Ooh.
And I was like, what? This is coming out in theaters? And then they loved it. And everyone I've ever talked to who saw it was like, that was a good movie. And I'm like, this movie, the poster, which is I think all I've seen of it really, looks like something not made by people who know how to make movies.
Yeah.
It looks like an Ultimate Panda Warrior situation.
For the star?
Yeah.
Oh, they're all animals. A small but brave donkey and his animal friends become the unsung heroes of the first Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I forgot.
Oh, Stephen Yeun is in it from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key, A.D. Bryant, Gina Rodriguez, Zachary Levi, Christopher Plummer. Is this a good movie? It's got a lower score than this movie on Metascore. So.
I think kids and suburban parents loved it. But the fact that it's about farm animals doing something to make it so Jesus could be born, or so the wise men could find him. I don't know. Like it says, they save the day somehow, but it's about animals.
Yeah,
I think already you're starting way behind in critics' eyes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know.
Oh,
here's the thing, though. Here's another aside, Cody.
Yeah.
critics who watch these kinds of movies and they're like, it doesn't challenge you in any way. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. At some point, don't you have to grade it based on the audience it's built for? And you're just like, yeah.
Which I would always used to assume that like Roger Ebert, right? Ebert, is it that name?
Yeah.
Like I would always assume he would be a guy that'd be like, it's not challenging. But that's something. But now that I've read some of his reviews,
he was well known for being more of a people's critic. Having.
But like, if a movie like this that did what it set out to do, he would give it just as good of a score as like a much better film.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, for what it is, like it's a kids movie and it's a good kids movie.
Yeah.
But I think that also depends on them being. That seems more like his attitude is like, well, if you see that I gave a 4 to like the original Star Wars and a 4 to the Star, you should know Star Wars and the Star are different movies.
Yeah.
Aimed at different people.
I hear ya.
You got the Washington Post. I don't know what they gave. Anyway, so you hated the movie is what you're saying.
No. I liked it. Probably won't see it again, but I mean, also if I did see it again, I wouldn't complain. It's beautifully animated. There are some fun gags. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's a nice little movie. If you got nieces and nephews, kids, pop it on. It's not on Netflix anymore. Learned that the hard way. So,
I'm glad I watched it when I did.
Yeah. Yeah, things happen. Sometimes things happen, and it's okay. I did think it was funny that this and How the Grinch Stole Christmas were on Netflix at the same time. And then, sure enough, 2 days later, one of them popped off. And
yeah, so I was wondering, is that why it popped off, Cody? Is that why it's gone forever?
There's Jim Carrey, there's not only enough room. When Jim Carrey's in the room, you gotta back off.
You gotta just be aware of these things.
Yeah.
Here's what's really funny. When you first brought it up, The Grinch was in the Netflix top 10.
Yeah.
And now How the Grinch Stole Christmas is in the Netflix top 10.
They were both, for one day, they were both in the top 10. And I thought it was weird that The Grinch was ahead of it, but I think it was just because it was Christmas and at the end of its run, and I don't know if as many people knew that the Jim Carrey one had just popped on anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, whoa, it's 2 spots ahead of the Jim Carrey one, but now, of course, it's not the case.
Yeah. See, when we were watching
there are some bad movies in the Netflix top 10. Peppermint is on the Netflix top 10. Like, movies with like a below 50 score on Tomato Meter are on the top 10, and I don't understand.
Is that a Netflix-made Christmas movie, though?
No, Peppermint is an action movie starring Jennifer Garner from the early 2000s.
What?
So, okay. I had to look it up because I was like, this looks like a gritty action movie. I don't know who that is. Turns out it's Jennifer Garner. And it's called Peppermint. Here's my problem with the Netflix top 10. 30%, great movies people love. 30%, a brand new movie, enough people got baited into clicking, that's terrible. And the other 30%, I forget where I was going with it. My point is 30% are bad, 30% is just, that's what it is, it's just new stuff. And the other 30% are actually good movies. So I can't, it's in the top 10, I gotta watch it. It's like, no, it could be great, bad, or just people don't know what it is and they want to know what it is. So if you have less than a 50% score on Rotten Tomatoes, you shouldn't be in the top 10.
Yeah.
I'm talking audience score. I'm not talking critics. I'm talking less than half of people enjoyed this movie, but it's in the top 10 of Netflix.
Name one movie.
Peppermint.
Oh.
But I've seen a couple where I'm like, how is this?
But did you watch Peppermint?
No.
Oh.
Bailey liked it.
That's why it's in the top 10.
Yeah.
Thing is, Cody, the Netflix top 10 is like a mirror to humanity. All right?
Yeah.
So it is. It's just like how everybody complained that Netflix is making all these crappy shows. And then somebody was like, Netflix makes what gets watched.
Yeah.
So if you hate every show, it's because you don't like what most people like.
Yeah.
Why do they make all these weird anime shows about a story you've never heard of from Portugal? Mm-hmm. Because that's what gets watched 90% of the time.
Yeah. Well, I think this was a good one, The Grinch, and I did a great job picking it.
Yeah, I think if you like the other Illumination movies, you'll like this one too. Like I said, they're not the same. It's not like it's copy and paste, but it's very obvious that they have kind of a formula where they have a story and they kind of plug that in there.
Yeah.
And it comes out similar enough.
I mean, I like Despicable Me. That's a good one. Secret Life of Pets is pretty good. I did not like Secret Life of Pets 2.
I haven't seen either one of them.
Secret Life 1 is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say it's about as good as this one, where you're like, that was cute, that was nice, there's some funny parts. It's good enough.
Yeah.
I think 2 was like one or probably 2 letter grades worse than that. I don't think it was good at all. But
yeah, those are ones. Yeah, those and Sing. I just haven't seen. I've seen the Despicable Me and the Minions, and
well, I mean, I like this one. Maybe check it out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Lorax, right?
It's the kind of movie I think is worth watching if you've got little people. That's not the right term. Youngins, youths,
yeah.
Children's.
Yeah, like I said, I think like the other ones, this is kind of one where if they want to watch it and then it ends and they're like, again, it's not going to be as like, I hate everything.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cancel the credit card that Netflix is attached to.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else to share about this one or?
No.
All right. Well,
it's a good one. I don't like the narrator.
Yeah.
I like him. He's fine as a person, probably. He's very smooth.
He's a very successful musician.
He's a smooth human being. Have you seen him?
He's a smooth man.
And so I probably think if they had nailed the narrator, I would have. If they had Patrick Stewart.
One of the trivia facts said he replaced someone as the narrator. So I think originally they were going for more of like the classic Christmassy narrator, and instead
get like someone like Patrick Stewart, like an old British man.
It was someone like that, but. Well, I do appreciate listening. You listening.
Hold everything.
Hold up.
You have Benedict Cumberbatch in his deep, sensuous British voice narrating it, and then him in his American voice.
That would have been great.
That would have been great.
I would have liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Let's do some reshoots, some ADR. We can get that's an easy fix.
'Cause
that is an easy fix. That's 2 hours of work for him. You know?
Oh yeah. Because that would have been great. And it would have also been funny for everybody who realizes that's what's happening.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening. You can follow us or review us on wherever. Most people... I learned from analytics that most people listen to us on Apple or Amazon. So we're there.
We just recently went up on Amazon, I think, because I had to fill out the form.
We got some new downloads on there, so at least the last couple weeks.
Let me ask you something. You've been checking it. Are we on Pandora yet?
I haven't checked.
Oh.
I don't know. It's hard. We're on Facebook, though. That's at Opinion Havers. Facebook, Twitter, at Opinion Havers. Yell at us, complain at us. Someone give us some movies to watch, because I'm sick of picking. It hurts my heart and brain to do it.
Yeah,
it's hard, and then we end up watching
There's no new movies coming out. So
if you don't pick movies, then I have to watch Shingle all the way.
You loved it. Don't even try.
Don't.
Look, here's what we learned in that podcast. We learned about Boston Dynamics. We learned about how my dad shot in our basement Land Before Time 5 with a crossbow. Yeah. We learned you watched it somewhere between the Jingle All the Way somewhere between 6 and 24, which is too big of a range to be unsure about, Cody. You know, it's really I'm really disappointed in you.
Melted my brain.
We learned about Schwarzenegger. We learned about Sinbad and their ages.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for listening. And until next time, watch movies.
And have opinions. What? We learned about...
No.